Hey guys, Loco here to bring you Team Liquid versus DAMWON Gaming. So yeah, if you're watching this, you probably know what happened. NA didn't put a single team out of groups this year. So let's go back, let's find out what happened. I think TL actually had a really good shot to get out of groups. They were 2-1. DAMWON and IG both had weaknesses in terms of IG with their jungler, DAMWON with their bot lane. And even with IG subbing in Ning instead of Lian, Ning didn't play a single game of Worlds until that point. So yeah, I really thought this was TL's year to make it out. But once again, NA falls just short, going 3-3 and not making out of groups. Let's go watch what happened. Starting with the ban, teams playing versus Korea have been really started to respect the Renekton plus Elise, Renekton plus Talia. They do it versus DAMWON, they do it versus SKT, they do it versus Griffin, where they ban the Renekton and just make sure the Korean teams can't get their hands on it. Qiyana, that's an interesting one for me. Qiyana, she's incredibly powerful as jungle due to her weakness supposed to be she's weak in lane in the earlier levels, but when you're jungling, well, it doesn't matter if you're weak in the earlier parts. And she brings utility as an assassin, something that no other assassins do. I think as the meta develops further, Qiyana is going to get higher and higher in terms of priority. As for Pantheon, just a standard ban from Red Site. We don't even really need to talk or think about it. Jarvan ban. Jarvan ban, little bit of X-Smithy comfort pick, but also I think TL overall as a team, I think CoreJJ is an excellent Galio. I think one of their best support setup is X-Smithy on Jarvan and CoreJJ on Galio. This effectively kind of nerfs the Galio pick for CoreJJ also.
In the first game, they looked like the favorite, and this to me looks like, at least just to me, the battle for the last spot in the quarterfinals. Of course, there's still more to be played, but this is the tight one.
Yeah, I'm not willing to say anything after what we've seen so
far
in
in
the
ban.
World Championship.
Akali ban means TL doesn't want to first pick Akali, and Red Side Akali is extremely dangerous, but I don't think they have other good first picks, so I think Akali would have been really good for them.
In terms of favorites. One thing I'd want to point out, though, was the early ban Renekton by Team Liquid on blue side. I think quietly Renekton has gone under the radar as the second strongest champion at Worlds. Second highest presence is actually 9-2 when he goes through. But specifically,
I think Renekton is strong for Korean teams and teams that know how to play Renekton Elise, Renekton Talia. If you don't pair him up, then Renekton is not that strong. Renekton is a conditional OP pick.
Banning it on blue side tells me Team Liquid's not confident in flexing that pick between mid and top, which is going to hurt their overall flexibility.
Additionally, when you have a look at something like Qiyana as well, which we've seen in mid, top, and jungle,
I feel like TL doesn't have a good first pick here.
Liquid lineup, they don't necessarily have the most flexible solo laners, but when they are on their picks, they do have great impact. So I think that this is...
Holy, I forgot to mention completely. But the thing about TL was in week 1, they were constantly banning Syndra Kayle from both sides. It seems like they adapted and they no longer need to ban Syndra Kayle for both sides, and they're first picking Kayle, and people have been just playing well versus or first picking Syndra, excuse me, and people have been playing stuff like rides into Kayle, so maybe they don't think it's that worrisome. But yeah, that's the adaptation they made. We're not going to ban Syndra, and we're just going to start playing her, which is good to see.
Is to the game plan. This is what you should expect. And Liquid has a lot of games that have gone to script so far in Worlds. Their game plan is very difficult to disrupt. I feel getting the best marksman on the patch for double lift is certainly going to be a step in the right direction.
And I think it's even better for them to first pick this because Nuclear is so comfortable on Kai'Sa. Looking at this group overall,
what about Syndra?
Like DAMWON and ID are somewhat similar in the
Yasuo Gragas
solo lane focused, and it's based off of having the same coach.
Yasuo Gragas goes bot lane almost every single time. But I'm not sure if Nuclear knows how to play Yasuo.
Kim was IG's coach in 2018 and DAMWON's coach now. And Team Liquid is much more a bot-focused team.
Well, we've seen the Yasuo Gragas. It was just last time these two teams met, I do believe.
Yep.
That's going to be exciting. Last time it was Showmaker on the Yasuo.
And it certainly was. However, in play-in stage, for the first time ever, Nuclear and Beryl picked up the Yasuo Gragas in the bottom lane. So I think this team has shown flexibility with it. They've also shown the propensity to take a mage into the bottom lane if they need to be able to balance the composition.
Jungle here.
Certainly is
jungle here, or you're gonna get pinched.
Start to what could be a skirmish.
Jungle here. What jungle? Jungle. What jungle? Like the one people have been taking is Lee Nautilus. That is situational playmaking. It's not bad. Also, Lee's not bad into Yasuo either. Lee.
Team.
Dude, if they do Skarner, I'm gonna die.
It's
no
one
way.
Of the most flexible.
Have to take the jungle.
Especially because it's not
have to take the jungle. J4's banned.
Flex, and that's also a mid
have to take the jungle. Yeah, there we go. Lee Sin.
Oh,
even though I know that's the right pick for them to take, it feels a little weird.
It's gonna be Lee Sin, and Smithy has been
damn, you guys are right. I would have much preferred Jarvan here for Smithy other than Lee.
Exceptionally good so far at Worlds, I would say.
Kayle.
Huge performances for him.
Okay.
He's been out jungling his opponents so far. The question is, can he keep up that level of play?
First time.
Who else did this? I remember there was another team that did Yasuo Gragas kill in their first rotation. Was it G2? Yeah, it was G2, and then they did Rise plus I forgot what jungle they did.
They played,
it was like Rise Lee Sin for their jungle.
Galio, and they pulled off some good combos. That's not what they're going to be able to do today. So mechanics will definitely be put to the test.
Rise Kiana.
Now I've been really critical of the Kayle pick throughout the entirety of this World Championship. I think
they just have to protect the kill pick. I would love to see a Rise ban here. I think that's one of Jensen's comfort picks also. And I think Kayle is much better mid than she is top. Protect the kill pick with like a Rise ban.
And to agree with Yamato that it has turned into a little bit of a bait. However, the conditions for Kayle, when she is going to be successful from what we've seen, is the ability for the carry you're going to ult to get themselves into the fight. Now, who better than a Gragas Yasuo combo to be able to set that up? If this is going to be a mid or a bottom lane Kayle, we've seen it can be protected in the short lane or with the support, and with the right amount of items, could certainly set up a very potent dive comp.
I think this is
there we go, Rise ban.
Mid lane Kayle. If we look at the performance from Jensen in week 1, I think it's a risk that DAMWON would be willing to take that they don't think
Vladimir ban. Okay.
And then
that's more of a comfort ban away from the worry.
So if Team Liquid is kind of trying to guess where this stuff is going, I think that's the best bet they would have.
One thing I want to point out is we have seen Kayle bot lane. SKT played that with Tristana in the mid lane.
Irelia. Oh, that's so off base. Where would Irelia go? Irelia top here? Why? What?
But you're right. That seems likely here as the final bans come through.
I think that last ban's a miss.
It could still
they could have used something better.
To really be a Nuggery champion, from what I've seen so far, he wants to be able to push up and take over some of the drift. The
Rek'Sai into Lee,
lends itself
really.
to being the bottom side of the map for
Yasuo no surprise,
in my opinion. So we'll see how the rest of the.
So now it's Yasuo Gragas bot lane for sure.
See how many solo lane bans Team Liquid was throwing. Probably because they were expecting the Yasuo Gragas to go bottom lane anyway.
Does he blind the Aatrox?
Well, they already banned the Vladimir, so I wouldn't really do that so much, but...
Blind the...
Sion.
What?
Like a tank up here because I guess they think they could just withstand all the damage. If there's no marksman for DAMWON, if you can be tanky enough, you don't get through that.
No marksman. What do you guys think Kayle does? Oh, what the hell?
But it can be anything that DAMWON plays top lane for Nuggery. It could be Jace, it could be Camille, it could be something that can...
Tristana, Vayne.
Be a pinata of... Well,
Cassiopeia?
It could be anything.
Why do they not blind GP here? What? Wait, Impact's a great GP player, and they banned Vladimir so he could play GP, no? No way.
I would expect... Okay.
Oh my god. Oh god. Holy fuck. Anivia, Sion, what the fuck? Wait, what the fuck? Okay, at least it's actually not the worst thing. It's actually not the worst thing ever. Because the problem with Anivia right now in the meta is the 2v2s and also people roaming around. Kayle isn't going to roam very much, so I can understand Anivia somewhat. Oh, Sion though, what the fuck? You're just gonna get farmed by some Klepto champion. Now I think they can even put Kayle mid and draft something different into Anivia.
Team Liquid, they've been off on the moon scrimming because no one else has
Off
been
on the
bringing
moon
the meta
scrimming.
over here. So Sion Anivia in an all-important game at the start of week 2.
And that's really interesting
What?
to me because the amount of control they now have in these fights is going to be incredibly potent. However,
TL comp is very
Anivia
slow.
historically has not dealt well with anything that can force on top of Anivia if you interrupt the ultimate. Can lead to a bad time, and
Yeah, the kill goes top, gets to farm free versus Sion. They pick a different pick into Anivia. I'm not sure how Corki is into Anivia. But now the problem is when Corki moves around, like it's really hard for Anivia to follow.
that actually is going to be Nuguri playing Kayle top.
Well, they can do it now because the Sion isn't going to be
What
a lane
the hell?
bully. So potentially,
You say not a lane bully, but Spellbook Sion hits real hard, and if you take Ignite and you have something like Elise in for like the follow-up,
I feel like they just
300
gave a
damage
free
at least,
lane for Kayle.
I think that you can potentially fight around this top side of the map. I'm not sold on Kayle in a solo long lane.
Why not pick
94
GP?
Champions picked in bans at World so far. Thank you.
Vlad bans,
for
just take
giving us
GP.
yet another one
What
here.
does
Corki
Nuguri
in the
play?
mid lane. There is a marksman after all, chat. I thought about on the top lane.
What the hell was the point of the Vladimir ban?
An obvious one Showmaker's played plenty of times. This is going to be a very exciting draft to see because Impact, part of the reason TL won last time was that Impact was so much better than Nuguri. Several solo kills. Sion, I feel like it's less likely to
I feel
be.
uneasy.
yeah, one solo kill, but it was a very important one.
Very important.
Yeah, he'd burned his flash previously.
Well,
I'm
TL
still
did their
kind
own
of
thing,
trying to make
Anivia
this
Sion.
draft in my head because also Corki mid has greatly fallen off, but Showmaker would be confident in this Corki versus Anivia matchup, and we're just going to have to see how the early game plays out and whether or not those solo laners end up being volatile.
Exciting matchup here. Team Liquid and DAMWON Gaming hoping to keep pace with Invictus Gaming to get out of the final group stage here at Worlds 2019.
Damn. I mean, at least it's Sion, something that Impact's comfortable with. And Anivia, I'm not too sure on. And what does Anivia provide? It's just so random. Wait. Punch. Bet it.
Welcome back to Summoner's Rift. Team Liquid is the last team remaining from North America, and they've got back-to-back games here. DAMWON Gaming right now, AHQ just after this one. Hoping again to keep pace with Invictus Gaming, the reigning world champions, hoping to make it into the quarterfinals. DAMWON hoping to follow through with what the rest of South Korea's done.
Anivia's just so weird in this comp.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we take a look at these compositions one more time, I do want to throw back to what Mithy said on the desk. He said he's been surprised
Sion
with
didn't
the
buy.
pace that
Good
Team
call
Liquid
out.
has currently played the game. He thought that would be much slower, much more reserved, much more about their team fight. Well, if there is a comp that is built for
Doublelift
that,
loves
it's
doing that
located
taunt on
on
Kaisa.
Rift.
Absolutely, and
That's the absolute favorite thing to do on
Team Liquid
Kaisa.
did work on their ability to close games quickly in the LCS. They had the lowest average game time and the best early game of all the teams in the LCS. So even though they play more controlled, that doesn't mean that they haven't been able to close out games quickly. And on the side of DAMWON, they too close out games fairly quickly, but typically not with early game strength.
Is this a lane swap? Are we seeing the lane swap?
Lane
You can see
invade.
the level 1 invade coming in on the top side of the map. Sion is taking Raptor Camp.
Oh,
It's a
Pinkward,
lane
thank you so much for the
Loki
raid.
Esports have changed the meta this world.
Woo!
Late
That's
invade
gonna be a
onto
record taken
Rek'Sai.
away. Impact's going to be rich.
So listen, Loki Esports beat DAMWON in game 1 of their best of 5 with the lane swap.
Lane
Because
swap into Kayle.
Nuguri was completely disrespectful to the strategy.
So this is taking what Loki did, which was they lane swapped on DAMWON, and especially because Klepto is a mastery that is efficient in lane and really shit outside of lane. If you lane swap on someone with Klepto, it's really good. So, and also DAMWON relies heavily on Nuguri hitting its power spikes and Nuguri being strong for team fights. Like, so TL taking a page out of Loki's book.
And allowed himself to get dope. This is just Impact taking the red buff. This is par for the course.
Okay.
Don't worry that he died to red buff. This is planned. So he'll be closer to level 2 by the time he heads bottom lane.
And not even that, of course, we're going to be in vertical jungling land where Smithy gets all of these camps.
Impact didn't buy items because having Ruby Crystal would just mean if he died slower, so he bought it later.
Now less camps for Canyon to take. red buff Lee Sin gonna battle Nuggery here, gonna fight over some Krugs. And Canyon will be sad to see that there's no red buff to take.
Well, there we go. That's what the silence for.
Okay, interesting level 1.
I mean,
Crack the code.
it does make a lot of sense because another thing that...
Ooh, if he greets for this, I think he knows Core's missing from lane, but if he greets, that's a hook into a kill. This could be it. He's gonna land the root. He's gonna find a lot of damage, so he should be able to walk away and stay alive.
Wait. No ignite?
Oh, this could be it. He's gonna land the root. He's gonna find a lot of damage, so he should.
Oh.
Be able to walk away and stay alive, but that is 0 XP entirely for the Kayle.
Yeah, and that's really nicely played from Liquid because they're
Actually, they probably can't. Never mind.
A top lane wave here for
If
DAMWON.
anything, it would be one down. I think they could have traded 1 for 1 and burned the flash, but
The big question will be, though, is can Impact live through a turret dive? And actually, he can. They've decided not to turret dive him. Barrels ran top lane to help support this, so Nuclear's not even good.
They need to walk up, and they need to make sure they can't get to the wave. They need to be beyond the wave if they're going to do
be able
this.
to get turret plates.
The one downside you do see of lane
Don't
swaps,
let them walk
this was
in.
the change that was made to make lane swaps less likely, was turrets take half damage in the early game if they're not in bottom lane. TL still
Well, they
getting
walked
played
in.
for it. They're still getting some money out of this one, so the penalty for lane swapping is less gold, and TL have more gold.
And right now, Nuggery is level 1 and going to struggle to...
Wow, I feel like if they were beyond the turret, they could have just destroyed them in the 2v2. Because they beat them in the 2v2 and they can't walk in. That would have fucked them so hard. Why didn't they walk up? I'm pretty sure it was so doable. Walk up here, don't let them into turret.
Less likely was...
Core JJ is really close to hitting level 2. If they just deny the walk in here. And it's impossible for Rek'Sai to be topside. He would have to give up so much camps to be topside. I really think TL should have denied. Corki could TP. What happens if Corki TPs? The Anivia can match TP. They can back up. They burn Corki TP for free. They should walk up here. And what if it denied them entrance into the lane? It would fuck them so hard.
Turrets take half damage in the early game if they're not in bottom lane. TL still gonna plate for it. They're still getting some money out of this one. So the penalty for lane shopping is less gold, and TL have more gold.
And right now, Nuggery is level 1 and going to struggle to farm up on all of these creeps. Impact is 20 CS, the top in the game. Yeah, and has just been able to farm fine. Now against the Yasuo.
Kayle is not a
with the red
champion
buff,
at
with
level 1.
glacial augment. This is actually a difficult lane, I feel
Level
like,
1
but
Kayle,
Nuclear
level
to
2
be able to
Gragas
fight.
versus level 3 Kai'Sa, level 1 Nautilus. Take the Kai'Sa Nautilus side every single time.
The fact that they've decided to lane swap, knowing the DAMWON isn't that drilled against it, because they actually showed on an early ward in the jungle. If DAMWON wanted to make an immediate adjustment, they could have, but they were slow to it. Nuggery got completely starved with the first 3 waves of the game, and it gives TL a 300 gold advantage to start.
And not only does it change the matchups around, where you talk about Kayle getting a safe farming lane against a Sion, but even the players are playing unusual roles. Nuclear is now essentially a top laner playing a one-on-one against Impact, who, by the way, has thousands more experience in a game like this, and you've got Nuggery on the other side playing a 2-on-2, which is not as likely for him either.
And the last thing I do want to mention about it is the fact that
Babysitting
it isolates
Nuggery
the
now.
mid lane. Now this is the area of the game where Anivia is so vulnerable. She is so slow. Her wave clear at this stage is also lacking. She really does struggle in the early stages, especially if you get jungle pressure.
And Nuggery is
towards
getting
that
fucked
lane.
really hard,
Well,
and he's
the
not
ability
getting to use
split the
Club
map,
though. That's
give
also a
Jensen
big part.
aside as the lane to play towards, and now farm up towards that
The
level.
start
6,
isn't bad
going
for
to have
TL.
the teleport available, has completely negated the area of the game that you want to attack this mid lane.
I don't think there's a punish here. He is recalling onto a ward. Nuggery not looking like he's going to try to stop that one. So TL going to put themselves back onto the bot side 2-on-2. Now that the pickaxe and some extra mana is there for double lift.
Yeah, now they're deciding to swap back, so if the Yasuo Gragas can reset in the bottom lane, it'll mostly be okay for them, and it would just be that 400 gold advantage from TL off the start.
Well, what I would love to see them get off it, it's not going to happen, is Impact sticking around for potentially a Dragon, because it is a level 3 Kayle that would not be able to get up there. And Ocean Drake would be the icing of the cake for this very potent early game. We'll see with the recall that's coming out of Nuclear whether they can still force around the objective. It looks like DAMWON has scouted it, and Beryl wants to be able to get some control.
If TL's goal was to keep Kayle down, they accomplished that initially. They also don't want a low action game because Anivia and Sion aren't real champions until level 6. Probably what they want to do is have Sion push out the Kayle and have the Sion start roaming.
Liquid make their way over. You can see Doublelift already pushing in the bottom wave, and Beryl the only one here to absorb any of that farm, and they're still going to go for the Ocean Drake. So Team Liquid so far in these first 6 minutes are staying a step ahead.
We'll see if they contest this, because Jensen needs to push the wave out in the mid lane.
Level
they
5
might decide to
Anivia.
fight this, even though Kayle's only level 4.
Level 5
Might be a little bit
Anivia.
scary. 1,000 HP. Beryl is around. Here comes the dive in top of this one. Looking at the kill. Doublelift out of the wave, and a nice smite comes through. Good pickup there for Canyon. Nuclear on the chase. Finds first blood. Showmaker in for number 2, and DAMWON step right back in. Canyon may be traded. How about Beryl now? Because
Core no flash,
is
he's
running out of health. The Nuclear explodes.
Jensen
onto
has
him.
flash,
Now
Jensen
more
has
kills
flash.
coming across. Jensen
Jensen
does
has
have flash.
flash.
Waits around for more impact. Not going to be in a good spot. He's going to lose his life, and DAMWON pick up.
Oh,
a
Kayle didn't even
4-for-1
TP.
as well
Holy
as the
fuck.
Drake.
Kayle didn't even
Disaster on
TP.
the bottom lane for Liquid fans. You can already see Nuguri has not moved.
Wait, how the fuck did they lose that badly? That was a 5v4. What?
In the bottom wave, and Beryl the only.
Oh, wait, why start this now? If they waited like 10 seconds for Anivia to hit level 6 and push.
One here to absorb any of that farm, and
Wait, Anivia's backing and she hasn't even TP'd yet. Why?
they're still going to go for the Ocean Drake. So Team Liquid so far in these first 6 minutes.
Wait for
are
Anivia
staying
to
a
come
step
back.
ahead.
We'll see if they
Hit level
contest this,
6.
because Jensen needs
Like, Jensen can't move in this state. Anivia's level 5, she has her wave pushed in and they're on top of Dragon.
to push the wave out in the mid lane. They might decide to fight this, even though Kayle's only level 4.
This might be a little bit scary. 1,000 HP. Beryl is
No
around.
one, like, Anivia wasn't ready to move. She's giving up farm to move here.
Here
Impact
comes the dive
isn't
in
TPing
top of this
first.
one. Looking at the kill. Doublelift out of the way.
Like, before Impact even finishes TP, the fight is over.
And a nice smite comes through. Good pickup there for Canyon. Nuclear on the chase. Finds first blood. Showmaker in for
Oh, that was
number
so
2,
overly
and
forced.
DAMWON step right
It's
back
so
in.
good for
Canyon may
Nuguri.
be traded. How about Beryl?
Their
Now
entire
the
early game was
Fortune
based around
is
Nuguri
running
getting
out of
behind.
the
They're like,
Nuclear explodes
now you guys
onto
can be
him.
ahead.
Now more kills coming across. Jensen does have flash, waits around for more impact. Not going to be in a good spot. He's going to lose his life, and DAMWON pick up a 4-for-1 as well as the Drake.
It's a disaster on the bottom lane for Liquid fans. You can already see Nuguri has not moved from that top side of the map. They win the fight.
Jesus.
Once again, Canyon outsmite Smithy, and they take everything away from the Liquid early game.
That went pretty much as bad as it possibly could have for Team Liquid when you consider that they burned the teleport to actually try and force the 5v4, but they weren't willing to preemptively force the teleport, which would have stopped DAMWON from going for the engage. Well played by DAMWON to go in for the fight. Actually, it looked like the Q from the Lee Sin got absorbed by Canyon, so Xmithy couldn't even get the execute on the Ocean Drake. And then even right here at the end, look at this ultimate from Jensen being placed not really.
What's so weird is this is TL's strength. Setting up and fighting around Dragon. This has been literally the one thing you've been working on the entire year. Wait. What the f... Literally this is the one thing they're good at and they didn't even do it right.
Where it can get onto Nuclear. Nuclear goes right past it and just destroys the rest of TL.
And that is so well played from DAMWON. The ability to coordinate over the back of the pick up the necessary
Holy
kills
Christ.
before they then re-engage as a group. And there were 2 smite fights
Jesus
the first
almighty.
time around these teams played. One over a Dragon, one over a Rift Herald. Canyon won them both, and he's already won the first smite fight of this game. And that's a big game changer when you consistently lose out on this.
Oh man.
Gold in a very early Ocean Drake to make the lanes even better. Puts DAMWON Gaming ahead right now after Some early plays out of Team Liquid. Top plate goes down. Credit does go to Impact, who touches the lane and still has some gold for himself, but a 0-2 Scion, not going to look great.
And beyond the kills and the Drake, the Kayle is the big beneficiary of that fight. Noguri would not have had a way to get gold if Impact didn't leave that lane until he hit level 6. He got about a level and a half in that lane, also able to get
Noguri caught up all the way.
Save recall off, so now he's sustaining and Kleptomancy.
Noguri caught up all the way.
Kayle is completely fine.
Throwing up nicely, 53 CS right there.
Oh, the gold distribution is so fucking bad for TL2. Corki and Yasuo got 2 kills, 2 assists each. Oh my god, that's nightmare mode. Holy fuck. Corki Yasuo spiked so hard on their first item. Trinity, PD. Oh my god. Literally, that fight went so badly. And it also went even worse because the wrong people got gold for DAMWON.
Look over to the mid lane as well. Showmaker, who got 2 of those kills, 83 CS, highest in the game. That man is rich right now. And now Corki last picked, saw the whole comp and said, all right, it's up to me now, and he's doing a great job out of this one. Team Liquid now forced off their bottom turret, and more money goes in the pockets of DAMWON.
And
oh shit, excuse me, not PD, my bad.
However, Doublelift is drawing so much attention.
Yasuo used to build PD.
This tournament, and I feel like it's because of setups like this. Unless Impact has the ability to exert pressure, you know, something like an Anivia not going to be the lane bully that we see out of Jensen, and he's had a pretty bad tournament so far in general, then it's a very easy game plan. Get in the bottom lane, shut down the last remaining piece, and don't allow Liquid to play their style.
And we've seen more ganks bottom from Canyon.
Yasuo still builds PD? Then why the hell were people in chat telling me they don't build PD? Okay, I got trolled, never mind.
Are ranked 3 and 5 in EOS solo queue with Canyon being ranked 1. So when you think of that, oh, they're just this topside map, and they leave this weak side nuclear barrel, kind of the whole LCK summer split. But in fact, Noguri and Showmaker have been so solid that Canyon's just been patching up the bottom lane, and it's been working out great for them.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right, is there's 2 ways to help out your solo laners. You either isolate the matchup and force pressure elsewhere, or you gank for them.
Guys are not getting farmed. Yasuo on top of the turret.
And when they just need to allow Noguri and Showmaker to
Double can't even lane right now.
Corki are not lanes you generally gank for. They are farm heavy champions.
Doublelift is so starved.
Will be able to take over the game. So I really respect how Showmaker has played this early game, making it about isolating the matchups.
He's almost 1,000 gold over anyone on Team Liquid. What an amazing performance so far for this Corki. Checks to see if there's a ward around, can come right back into the mid lane, and he is so close to Trinity Force already.
And don't get me wrong, this is a part of the lane that Jensen should actually be online now. He's got double mana items, he's got the Catalyst of the Ages, or Aeons, or whatever it's called now, to be able to start stacking up a little bit more health as well. So it will be hard to take him out.
Oh, he's not going PD, actually.
Not a strong champion, but at this stage of the game, does have a lot of control.
Yeah,
he's going Shiv.
Yasuo's
Yasuo's going Shiv.
At a 20 CS disadvantage, but he's not going to be able to get side lane pressure, which Showmaker will be able to do. You got to watch out for when package respawns, because Showmaker can then...
Science just like a...
Again. For the most part,
meat bag for Kayle to beat up on now.
It's very unlikely that Noguri dies to the Scion, and he's only going to get stronger. So
good tempo, take the Herald.
From Rift Herald
easy
down
snowball.
On the rest of the map for the rest of this game.
And normally when you speak about a team that has something like an Anivia and Scion, you'll be expecting great scaling advantages. However, because there is a Kayle, as well as that Yasuo Gragas bottom lane that has so much backline access, I feel like this is one of the few comps that can bypass the tank line and try and just blow Doublelift up. If they catch him in a combo, it is going to be very difficult to survive.
Yeah, also got to correct myself. DWG going for the lane swap with a 10-minute Rift Herald, that's actually become an extremely standard play throughout the World Championship once you take the first Dragon to move your AD carry and support up. So the fact that they were stronger and first to the play meant they could just get it. It would be a big play if TL can get a turn here.
Oh.
They're gonna flash wave.
Ult. Yeah, this
wall,
ult.
Doesn't stop this one. The knockup is there. They're gonna find a lot of damage. He's still jumping away. Will finally get the shutdown. Credit goes to Xmithy.
But this is at a cost of so much. Like, they spent 4 people here. Yes, they did kill Yasuo, and they burned Yasuo flash. Kayle just farming bot lane. Kayle getting plates. Gragas, or not Gragas, Rek'Sai Corki using Herald mid. They're gonna get additional plates too. They get a shutdown, so that's like, what, 450 gold, 500 gold, but they're gonna, like, they're missing XP, they're missing CS in lane.
And
they gave up so much to do this.
Like,
they're giving up farm to do this.
Able to pick up numerous turret plates with early game Kayle, so the gold is going to stay pretty advantageous for DAMWON.
And they're going to win in multiple areas because they're going to grab 3 plates most likely in this mid lane, plates in the bottom, and a second of those Ocean Dragons. If you want a prolonged, extended laning phase, you know, getting the additional gold now is great, but the second Ocean also just going to leave you very topped up. And I cannot stress this enough. The range advantage that you're going to have on something like a Corki is very frustrating to play around as a short-range comp. And then you add something like... Hold the thought.
There'll be a decent amount of wave clear in the dive. Not yet there, but now with 3 alive, maybe Impact needs to be a bit worried. Does back up. Looks like the first...
Sion has such little things to do in team fights. Kayle, Corki are such good champions for melting the hell out of Sion.
Equally shares the gold. Now it's only 1,500, but DAMWON Gaming going to easily respond to the bottom lane. They'll claim the 5th place.
Kayle level 11 is going to hurt like crazy, boys.
150 gold for first turret itself.
Yeah, so overall, that's decent for Team Liquid. I also don't feel like it's something that DAMWON will be too broken up about since they could get solo turret gold to Nagari's Kayle. But watching this one more time, it was a good setup. You're expecting a reset from TL, so that's why our Nuclear was going for that. He burns his wind wall very early, and it ends up being fairly ineffective, and then smartly double lift ults through. The one thing that I would have liked is if they could have been a little bit more deliberate about getting the gold onto double lift, especially since it was shut down tier gold, but the kill is a kill.
Kill almost got cast by a barrel, would have stopped double lift mid.
Trinity, Shiv, Hextech, Gunblade finished on Kayle, Corki, Yasuo. This is such a good timing. All they do need to do is fight.
Couldn't find him though. Double held onto the killer instinct. We keep watching this mid
right now, it's some really bad timing.
You mentioned it being a -18.
And then another real bad timing is going to come. Level 11 Kayle. Things just get worse and worse.
Still, though, make no mistake, a very, very good game. 2,500 gold puts DAMWON Gaming ahead.
And I feel like the fact that all of this early game was based around shutting down Nuggery and trying to disrupt the isolated top lane matchup is the biggest disaster. If you look at what the game plan was, it was a lane swap, injection of gold into Impact, and the ability to kind of shut down how DAMWON like to play around their solo laners. Well, right now, Nuggery...
I don't get why TL's... Actually, this isn't terrible for TL, because DAMWON has completed items, so they're trading. Well, what's TL's endgame with constantly trading this? Let's wait until we catch up in items. I think this is a mistake by DAMWON. They shouldn't trade turrets like this. Like, this turret trade for this is so good for TL. Because DAMWON has completed items, and if they fight right now, they would crash, or they would murder Team Liquid.
He is 30 CS up. He's found himself the completed item on the...
Oh my god. Let me go check up on the cat, sorry. Let me close the door in the room, because he's just going crazy and people can hear him. I put the cat back in my roommate's room. I didn't kill it. Why would I kill a cat? I like dogs. Cats taste way too chewy.
The Kayle. And as you mentioned, he is getting share on all these plates that's falling down, if not isolated. So I feel like the split objectives right now is actually falling very heavily into DAMWON's favor.
Yeah, but
and Liquid would be quite upset.
I think like this trade turret for turret is so good for TL, because DAMWON is so much stronger right now.
Because as we mentioned before, the range disadvantage Kaisa will be at against the Kayle and the Corki is going to be difficult for him to find his windows. So yes, he's getting a lot of turret plate gold, and oftentimes you can say it's a good play as the team that's behind to trade objectives. I think that's where TL, like I can't really fault them for doing this. It's just DAMWON also is okay doing this because of the Kayle.
Yeah, I mean, once you've already botched the dragon fight, this is all you can do now, right? Yes. You don't want to go back into the standard lanes. You have to keep trying to accelerate the pace of the game and feed gold. And, you know, you can see that Jensen is actually up in CS now, so he's doing a fantastic job of playing towards his strength in the composition. It's just that they would have loved to been able to go back time, had a second crack at the first Ocean, because that is where the game plan started to go south. However, now looking for some picks. This comp's still very good at being able to change terrain. And
oh, the item difference is so much. It feels so weird because they're only 2.7k gold up, but the gold is on Corki and Yasuo, so the carries have their items complete. Oh, it feels so bad. Like sometimes like 2k gold lead means nothing. Sometimes like 3k gold means nothing, and sometimes like a 2k gold means a lot. And just because where the gold is falling, it's so good for DAMWON.
A little bit of an ambush in that brush, doesn't find anyone though, and an easy set of wards getting traded back and forth. The game state now. Still 2,500, really not moving around too much just yet. You can see 10 plays to 13. A lot of this has been the teams handshaking and switching different sides of the lane. 3v0 one side, 3v0 the other.
And I think the pressure is actually on Team
Corki and Yasuo spike crazy on their first items too. And like someone in the chat said, Anivia and Kayle spike a lot slower than Corki and Yasuo. Like Anivia is so much stronger on 2 items. Kayle also needs 2 items since her first item is mana immune and it takes time to activate. There's just a lot of bad things for TL right now. TL needs to wait until 2 to 3 items.
They wait on item power spikes. They play actually very passively until they seem to hit that point, and then they go for it. So I think that's yet another item on Kayle. It's 2 or 3 items on the Corki, and then I think they'd really try and do something. Sure, it can change in the time off, but that's what I'm expecting from DAMWON, is for them to just try and isolate this game and hold this 2,000 or 3,000 gold advantage until they hit the items they really care about.
They are what the. They hit Trinity on Corki, they hit Shiv on Yasuo. Maybe they're waiting for level 11 on Kayle, but they hit items they already care about.
I think that Liquid are also okay at the moment to say we still have 2 item spike as well as transform coming through for double lift. We have the second mana item stacking up right now for Jensen. He's going to become even more difficult to deal with and more oppressive in these fights. And their Baron, especially if Jensen goes towards something like Liandry's as his 3rd item, is maybe the quickest Baron you can get in the game. Anivia does so much damage to Baron just through the repetitive E spam as well as the ultimate being put down, and is one of the better champions at keeping it safe. The turning tool of the Q is very undervalued in Anivia's kit. So I feel like there is very clear win conditions left. It's just about whether you can get towards that state of the game before DAMWON start to take away more gold.
And they also already have river control for this Infernal Drake, which would be so beneficial to the triple carry threat that DAMWON has.
And arguably all 5 care about it as well. You've got the Warrior enchant on the Rek'Sai, and even Gragas is going a little bit of AP. Not a ton, but it's going to matter somewhat there. And it's spawning in 8 seconds. Team Liquid and DAMWON Gaming going to fight over mid-control. Everyone is on this side of that. You can actually see them all on your screen.
And this is very interesting because Showmaker does have package, and you mentioned this, chat. This is actually one of Corki's strongest spikes when he's able to have the mobility.
He wants level. Oh my god, he got level 11. They got everything they want before this fight. Level 11 Kayle. Corki has package. Oh.
He uses it to split.
Smithy might be able to try.
It's the only thing that's good for them is positioning for Kayle is shit. Kayle needs to be on the side with everyone.
Deal.
He's going to Q over the wall.
Oh fuck.
Look away for the smite fight again. It goes to Canyon, and the fight begins already. Stopwatch burn by Core JJ, same for Nuclear. What's the re-engage? Flashes to safety, but Impact can't go that way, so DAMWON not only claim the Drake, they also grab a kill.
Another smite
it's just
fight
getting
goes
slowly worse
over
and worse.
to Canyon. Nerves of steel on that guy, and then of course, DAMWON is going to likely win that fight in the river since they already had a lead. So 5 strong. With
level 11 kill.
And with a split on bottom lane, double lift's not here.
Look for the body slam into the knockup. The ult comes across as well. That's an egg, and that's going to get poached as well. Turret falls. DAMWON. 2 straight
Oh man,
kills.
they're just going to lose 2 turrets.
Tier 2's next up.
The good thing about Anivia is you can perma-defend turrets, but that doesn't even happen. I want Jensen could have positioned differently.
So 5 strong with Impact down. They're looking to break mid.
And with a split on...
Oh man, Froggen actually would have done this correctly. So Anivia, the ult range and the ult leash range is different. So if you use the ult like this, like you maintain distance. But he didn't maintain distance, and he also turned off his ult early. What the hell?
Impact down, they're looking to break mid.
And with a split on bottom lane, double lift's not here. Look.
Oh, just maintain distance. What the f...
For the body slam into the knockup, the ult comes across as well. That's an egg, and that's going to get poached as well. Turret falls, DAMWON. 2 straight kills, the Drake, the outer turret. Tier 2's next up on the plate.
And that's just disrespect coming through from Liquid. That's too much confidence in what Anivia's wave clear is able to do. We already mentioned the dive tools that were not expended in that fight. And you can see that they run over the mid lane. Taking a look at the Dragon, however, I really want to see how this goes with Smithy because I thought he was down in levels. He's actually equal.
Yeah,
and he has to maintain max range and he has to use ult early.
This smite right here, he takes Q.
You put your ult down early so it can charge up and it can start melting creeps.
Both of them pressing smite at 900.
It was very subtle, but he should have done it a little bit earlier and it would have been better.
With his E necessarily. And then Impact kind of field goes through the rest of DAMWON. TL not willing to fight.
And a couple of things to look at in that fight. Windwall from Nuclear did separate a lot of the damage sources that was going.
I'm pretty sure better Anivia players delete the entire wave there and don't get engaged on.
Going to come across, and because already the fact that Impact was so low, Doublelift didn't want to get backline access through his ultimate, so that was a very split fight. Certainly not the way that Liquid want to be fighting, I feel, in this game.
Yeah, Froggen, obviously that's the one.
I feel like DAMWON want to be playing more of a dive split up game.
And this has turned into an incredibly one-sided game. 6,000 gold and 3 Drakes at 18 minutes. DAMWON kind of just needs to run their playbook and execute here. Make sure the side waves are prepped, make sure they get a little bit of control on the Baron buff, and then just look for picks in that area with the Gragas Yasuo, which is a great team fight initiator. So DAMWON's looking very comfortable at the start of the final day of groups.
Yeah, and it's not surprising because with the maturity of League of Legends as kind of a sport, you have 2 distinct styles coming across. You have your G2s, which are more of your, eccentric artists that like to keep the map in a fluid state. They like to be able to change the rules and kind of bend how the game is played. But then you have teams like Liquid, and they are the scientists. They have the recipe on what success looks like, and I feel like they do tick all the boxes when they go for these plays. But that means when something goes wrong, it is much harder to combat your way into a game.
Yasuo is science.
So many things to line up before they will look for their play.
I will agree with Spawn, TL, and G2 play very differently, but I'm not sure if Science and Artist would have been what I would have gone for.
AHQ last week, and we can see a 6,000 gold lead, ward control, Drake control, DAMWON Gaming, with Baron spawning just now, to set up that left side river. And as they push in, the wards come down, the other ones get cleared.
And we were talking about item power spikes before. DAMWON's hit them. They have the 2-item Corki, the 2-item Yasuo,
2 items on
and the
everyone.
2-item Kayle. So if any fight prevents itself, I expect them to be able to go for it.
Once again, it's Fog of War mostly. Team Liquid sending Impact to side lane against Nuggery, which is still a solid matchup here for the DAMWON side. Let Kayle scale.
Now, I really like this play out of Liquid. When you have run teleport on your AD carry, you have the option, especially with a Kai'Sa, of looking to attack the side lane, then being able to teleport towards the objective. We'll see how many times they cheat this, because it is allowing Impact to still be able to head towards these tank items. Having a tank is very important when you're behind for the ability to be able to vision check. And I feel like that is going to be Impact's role for the majority of the rest of this game.
I mean, it is better to be losing with a tank than it is to be losing with a carry, but problem with TL is it's still incredibly hard for them to fight out of things. And one of the core philosophies for team fighting comps, and especially comps with tanks, is it's going to take you longer to melt our front line than it is going to take us to melt your front line. Kayle and Yasuo changed that so much. When you have a Kayle and a Yasuo on the team, even if you don't have tanks, often enough the enemy team still has a really hard time melting your front line. Even if your team has a tank and the enemy team doesn't.
Game. Well, for now, I stuck on the other side of that one. And you talk about vision checking, I want to bring up something else that's interesting is when Team Liquid are fighting for these wards, Jensen's putting these walls down and try to cut someone off, but the ones who are clearing the wards are Gragas and Rek'Sai, who can freely just jump back over the Crystallize and not get caught out. So even one of the strengths of Anivia, which is cutting up these jungle fights, they're not getting catches in the jungle vision fights.
Yeah, you can just really see Team Liquid, not many options for them to go off of. Even the Kai'Sa in the side lane,
Gold
I
Gap
think is
blew
a
me.
risk for them because
Gold Gap
chance
used to be
Nuggery,
2k, now it's at
Kayle
6k.
and Gunblade active, can just force a flash or ult of Kai'Sa away, right? He's an incredibly strong duelist. No one can really
3 levels until Super Saiyan 3.
Their vision checker and Impact, running him back and forth in the mid lane, which means they can't actually get control of the Baron River again.
And very importantly, I mean, even Doublelift at this stage of the game has fallen behind in CS. Sure, there's not as much available for him. And he's also still waiting on that transfume of the Manamune. So not going to be at a stage of the game where he wants to fight. And if you miss a spike, it generally puts you behind another item towards a 3-item spike of AD carries. At that point, they just do a lot of damage. It becomes largely irrelevant of who they're hitting. But I feel like this is going to have to be a mistake from DAMWON for TL to be able to get their way back in the game. As I already mentioned, I don't think scaling is an advantage. I think ease of execution is also in DAMWON's favor just because of superior range. So then you're coming down to very small windows that you can look to punish. And unfortunately, DWG just looked very patient in their setup and are taking those windows away.
Let me ask you guys a question. What's TL engage and what's DAMWON engage? DAMWON engage is Gragas 3-pointer ultimate into Yasuo going in. If Yasuo looks like he's going to get popped up, kill ults to Yasuo, and they just start melting people. TL engage is like what, a Scion ult, a Nautilus hook. It's so situational.
Away from Liquid.
Triple Ocean even benefits Patience as well. I don't think it's the strongest Drake setup, but it does let DAMWON shrug off pretty much any offensive TL puts in. If you win any fight at all, you are always healthy enough to Siege or Baron. You will get enough health back that you will not get one shot off some random poke. So it lets them stay on the map kind of forever. It lets them really easily play these setups.
And you can see they can already start up this Baron buff. A win at the start of the day is also so big from DAMWON. It's the 3 teams fighting to get the 2 spots out of this group. TL, DAMWON, and IG. IG took down AHQ. TL plays AHQ after this one, so they will definitely have to do a mental reset if DAMWON can close out this game as we think they should.
And further to your point, it's very important to get the win against Liquid because currently Liquid have their head-to-head. So this would equalize it, which means that DWG get that little bit of extra breathing room. They'll at least be able to force a tiebreaker if everything else goes poorly today. So I feel like that is certainly an area that DWG fans...
I don't know why Kayle built Blitzbane. I think Rageblade is so much better.
Once again, fighting over a little bit of vision. Back and forth, the wall comes in.
It's better used to AP, but still, I think Blitzbane is better. Or not Blitzbane, excuse me, Rageblade.
Once again, DAMWON Gaming removing wards.
Yeah, and if DAMWON wants to have a really safe Baron, they really want control ward in that blue area that they just fight over. So it is good for Jensen to be able to hold that spot, because starting Baron without control that deep in the jungle does carry a higher level of stealing risk from Xmithy. So that's why DAMWON, I think, is just not going for it.
Noguri's just getting to do whatever the hell he wants. Kayle outskilled like crazy.
14 on the Kayle. At 16, you get even more range. You go up to 575. You'll start outranging all the other ranged champions in this game. And just sitting there in the side lane, catching farm, catching farm. Highest damage.
You know when Dom said level 16 Kayle doesn't mean that much, and it's level 11 where she's really strong? I actually agree with him. The more I play Kayle, level 16 is nice, but level 11 is the big power spike.
You can see as soon as Liquid enter Fog of War, they actually peel up. Because I honestly think the only way that Liquid come back into this game is through securing the Baron somehow.
Yeah.
And the easiest way to do that is maybe to steal it away. So they just can hold the pressure they currently have on the map. When you think about it, they're losing red buff every single time it spawns on the side of Liquid. They're losing maybe a Gromp or a
Cadence in her counter to Kayle calls.
Resources are being drained away. And you can see that bottom lane is crashing. And Impact has to be able to move up because he is the person they'll use to face check. This is just gold continuing to funnel in.
They can also see the next Drake's Infernal. There's no reason to
item on
do
Corky.
anything too risky when they know that level 16 Kayle is coming and another Infernal is on the way.
Level 15 already, 1/3 of the way over to the next one. That's
level 16 Kayle is
that really starts to take things
pretty
away.
GG.
Going towards a Lich Bane that's turret sieging as well as move speed for a side lane. And here comes the Baron setup.
See whether
They're sending multiple people to deal with Kayle.
Alright, they might pick up one. They gotta deal with the
by
Kayle
time.
ultimate, but they should have the damage.
If they kill him, they try and double TP back in. That's what they're thinking, but Nagri is just outplaying them.
He's taking so much damage in the impact. Baron is already gone. Devil's gonna re-engage now. Look to find the damage. They do find the kill, but it's already the kill onto Xmithy. He went in for the steal.
Well, Baron for Kayle.
Gets picked off. The Baron is gonna do a lot for DAMWON here.
And that just took so long to kill Nuguri in the side lane.
Now he has
Baron
Blitzbane.
was already
Can't wait
gone,
for level
and Xmithy
16.
is dead, so it's a 1-for-1 trade, and DAMWON get the objective.
So that's pretty much what they would have wanted. We're going to watch the other side of this, where Xmithy actually was close. That was very close.
Wow, if he
So
actually got that, that would have been
I can't
game-changing.
completely fault the game plan from TL since they were down 10,000 gold and DAMWON was forcing them into a play. Ultimately, though, it does just work out once again for DAMWON.
And now we will see whether the power of Anivia is justified in the competition, because Anivia used to be able to make games go forever. I have not missed this champion in League of
From a
Legends
2k gold
at all.
lead to a 10k.
Games used to go for well and truly over an hour. When she
Well,
was
one
playing.
good thing for
However,
TL is
Baron
Kayle
has
doesn't have
buffs
Baron
since
buff,
then,
so she can't
and the
split push
additional range
as
of the
it
Cannon Creep might just be
efficiently.
enough to be able to push over
Still
the
a
lane
huge
lead.
problem.
Definitely going to help, and the magic resist that, rather magic immunity that those minions have with the Baron buff will contribute.
Yeah.
And one thing that could also end up stalling the game is the fact that there's no Baron buff on Kayle, so that he's the split push force that would actually want to have something. So there you go.
Thank goodness for Corky. Split pushing marksman mid laners are such a benefit in being able to break the base. And you can see right now they are setting up in multiple lanes, and they might bring Kayle towards a group and allow that Corky to split.
You can see slowly but surely the mid lane wave dies. They take about half damage from champions. Gets yelled at, goes back as well, but top lane tier 2 could be under fire. No, it's going to be shoved in and left alone.
And it's all about minimizing risk. The Infernal Drake's up in 10 seconds, so that's going to take 30 seconds.
They get Inferno for free. Super Saiyan Kayle. What's next? What's next? You don't outscale. And there's so many good targets for Kayle to auto. Nautilus, Lee, Scion.
Almost 28 minutes in. Triple Ocean, double Infernal, third Infernal coming up.
I mean, Spot and I are shaking our heads, but this is just good League of Legends from DAMWON. You don't need to take the risks to win the game.
What happened to the young, plucky Korean rookies that were going to come in and reshape the LCK? This is exactly the opposite of what I want to see out of DAMWON. Sure, it's the right way to play the game. They might still win with it.
They've still got a minute of the Baron buff left. That's turret number 1 on the top lane going down. They're up to the inhibitor turret already right now. Rapid Fire Cannon on Showmaker means that poke can look good. Some scarce waves are coming through now into the mid lane. Like they're still gonna crack the inhibitor line while also having their KA.
Double F QSS is for Gragas and Yasuo combo knockups, so he can QSS flash or QSS ult out of things.
Team Liquid Impact forced run away, knocked up now as well. He might knock it out.
And that's like this is the problem with like Scion later on.
That was not needed. He was already in the clear, but turns around and goes.
Where are you going?
Part of that top lane has to run away as well because Canyon is back.
But they'll get the inhibitor. Yeah, so mid lane inhibitor will fall down, and you can see already that Canyon is on that minion wave. So DAMWON certainly looking to break the base on this Baron.
They've still got 28 seconds. They can knock down this turret as well, as long as they want to push in for the damage. They're taking a little bit of space. Wave goes down. Knockup going to land, but Impact nearly dies. Goes down to 1/4. He's going to have to regen now.
And you can see that Impact not as tanky as he would like to be at this stage of the game. Maybe the last wave they'll get the Baron. See whether they go for it here.
Ooh, Anivia turns off the ultimate. That's no wave clear. That's the turret falling. That's going to be double inhib.
Jensen isn't very practiced on Anivia. And rest of the team is not really creating situations.
So yeah, take the Infernal, take double inhib. That's a great Baron Siege. That's a lot you can gain right there.
Well, they gave the initial lead at Ocean Drake, and then DAMWON just took it so slow and abused the fact that TL has no tools.
DAMWON coming in very solid. They've been here at Worlds for 3 weeks now. Remember, they started in the play-in stage. They had a few bumps along the way.
The Anivia pick is so weird. It seems so unpracticed.
They lose the first game to Team Liquid, but this has been just so solid from them. Sure, they fell down 400 gold with an early lane swap, but since then, they've just been in full control.
However, maybe the first time in the entirety of the game since that Dragon that Liquid will start getting priority over farm because they're going to have 2 super minion waves pushing into their base.
What pick do I think is better in this comp?
For a couple of minutes. So as Frostgurian loves to say, the objective now, hoover as much gold as you can off Summoner's Rift. Try and get to as many item spikes as possible and then look for your one shot because if you
they need a solo lane early.
Yeah, I mean they're starting to.
I think they don't ban Akali and they first pick Akali.
If that one someone doesn't end the game, triple Infernals coming up a minute after that one.
Blue side self-banning Akali is so weird. Because it's one of the strongest things for Blue side.
About creativity and versatility at the League of Legends World Championship, and I think this is the first game where I've really seen a stark contrast in style from DAMWON. This hasn't been wait for an item spike and explode onto Summoner's Rift. This has been a very long drawn bleed out style of League of Legends.
I think Akali mid GP top would have been the right choices.
On their team and a Kayle. So they just feel so confident in their ability to win this game later. The Drake spawns don't hurt either. This could actually be a 6 Drake game unless they find a fight here to win.
6 Drake games are pretty rare.
Super rare.
They almost always win. I think one has lost in pro play since this change in the game. Wave clear in mid, wave clear in top. DAMWON Gaming happy to sit inside the base. Baron in 45 seconds.
And one of the weaknesses of Anivia is if you come from multiple directions, she doesn't deal well with it. So I like the fact that Canyon and Beryl are keeping Jensen.
The Gragas ultimate is so threatening. Anytime Gragas lands ultimate, it's Gragas ult, Yasuo ult, Kayle ult on top of that target. There's just so much internal synergies with that comp.
Bot lane is clear, top is shepherded in, but it's just going to be farm going back on over. So at least money goes to TL.
They're waiting. They're just going to get Baron. They're just not going to give them any chances. DAMWON's not playing DAMWON League of Legends. DAMWON's playing safe Korean secure League of Legends.
Because they're going to have to look for it. I feel like you can't allow them to sit around Baron with vision.
Could be the play. Looking forward, looking for a potential knockup. They're going to find the hook on in. Here comes
Kai'Sa and Anivia both got knocked up. Kai'Sa and Anivia both got knocked up.
So far, look at a second. Knockups come around, 2 for 4-0. Impact's gonna
Fucking
fall
end
now
me,
as well.
fam.
And here comes Yasuo. Looking to knock down Doublelift. Not gonna find the knockup just yet, but that will be the kill. Goodbye to Doublelift, to stopwatch. Canyon, oh poor Canyon will go down. At least a kill goes to TL, but there is nothing else they can do. Their base is in shambles, and DAMWON Gaming will knock down Team Liquid.
And we thought DAMWON was just going to try and scale into infinity. Eventually they said, you know what? We're probably strong enough to force a 5v5 right there. They get a 5-for-1 at the very end, and they kill the next.
Well, I didn't have that much comments because this game was just so slowly played. But TL took drafts that had very little tools to win, and they had to play an extremely controlled game. And they had a good level 1 going into it, but after they fucked up that dragon fight, the game just blew out of control. Everything they did to keep Kayle down became a waste. And then you look at their draft, it's what, Sion, Anivia, like the solo laners have so little playmaking potential, and both Lee and Nautilus, when the team is down on items, like it's really hard for them to do things. Whoop, that's game 1 of TL final day. Let's go check out some other ones.